Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of the Diverse Dialogues podcast. I'm Mateo.
And I'm Ruben.
And for this episode, we're going to be talking about Pokemon again, but this time it's actually something new to talk about and actually a good conversation to talk about as well. Because we are going to be talking about the new Pokemon game that's coming out next year, Pokemon Waves and Waves. So, obviously, we're a bit late on this, but it is still, the talk of the town right now. And the whole purpose of this podcast is to basically talk about our predictions as to what's going to happen with the game. Because, I told Ruben it could be a fun little thing to talk about. And once the game actually comes out, and of course throughout the trailers, we'll see if our predictions come true. And it's going to be pretty funny if some of these predictions are true or not. But I just find it funny since, for a while, we've been talking about Gen 10 after Gen 9. You're like, what the fuck could they do after this? And, after seeing the trailer, it's like, okay, they are leaving it very, very vague.
Yeah, once I saw the starters, I was like, Jesus Christ, these are the most bland creatures I've ever seen.
Yeah, what do we got? We got Diet, Rowlet, Sableye, and then another fire dog.
Pombon, which is the one that everyone loves.
Yeah, every female had lost their shit over.
Uh-huh.
Alright, but normally we would always start a question, we would always start off with our questions for the podcast, but because it's Pokemon, we don't necessarily need to do it since it's already a topic we talked about before.
Yeah, we made 3.5 episodes based off Pokemon so far.
But I can at least ask this question. If you were to choose a starter, what would it be?
Pombon.
I would choose Gekwa.
Okay.
But on that note, let's get right into the podcast. Ruben, how's it gonna go?
Okay, so we're gonna go back and forth talking about our predictions for the game. We'll start with the things at the very beginning, such as the starters and what's gonna happen once you open the game, because that's a topic gonna be on here. Then we'll talk about all the stuff you encounter in every Pokemon game. The gyms, the champions, the enemy teams, your rival, etc. And then we'll talk about the list of Pokemon that you can catch in the game.
Mm-hmm. And to end it off on a more funny note, we also have a list of joke predictions that are meant to be just jokes, obviously, but they're also meant to be, if they actually become a reality, that makes it even funnier. So,
yep.
All right. So without further ado, let us begin.
So when you open the game, your game's going to crash.
Yep. Automatically. I already have it listed down here too, but game will be buggy at launch.
Yep. Because that was the launch with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's literally a streamer. She was playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The moment she clicked the game, it crashed.
I mean, now to counteract that, to play devil's advocate, we are getting the game in 2027.
Yeah.
So that could mean that they're actually going to take the time to actually, make the game. And the graphics of the game do look much better than Scarlet and Violet than by a landslide.
Yeah.
So there is hope for that. But again, you never know with Pokemon these days. So, and also it's going to be run on the Switch 2, which means that it will be a lot better to work with and much better, engine than the Switch 1. So
yeah, you're right.
But I still think that there are at least going to be a lot of bugs on at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So, let me start off with the starters. I had we rewrote these at random, so this may be a little bit awkward, but for the starters, I think for the typing, Pombon will just be straight fire type. Gekwa will be Water Dragon, and Brout will be Grass Flying. I think that's where I'm standing right now. I'm playing it both safe, but also a little bit risky.
Okay, honestly, I didn't really think about the the typings for these, but for Pombon, I really do see it being a fire and fighting type, unfortunately. Brout, I mean, there's Rowlet and there's chicken thing, so I'm gonna say Grass Flying, and for Gekwa, I'm gonna say Water Dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying it might be Water Poison type, which I can see it.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
So we'll see from the we'll just have to wait and see if our predictions are correct.
Now, in terms of their evolutions, Pombon is going to be a bipedal final evolution.
Because of course it will.
Yep. Gekwa, I feel it's going to be the same thing as Greninja and Inteleon, where it's just going to be like the nonchalant final evolution that just looks badass. And as for Bra, not the final evolution, but mid evolution, it's going to be egg shaped, similar to Pignite and Quilladin.
Yeah, we're going, we're taking it there, guys. So,
Mm-hmm.
and remember, like the majority of this is just to mess around with it, but honestly, we're just going off of what was previously done in previous generations. So, if you want to get mad at Pokemon. So,
Yep.
Alrighty. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna start now, going from top to bottom. So, I'm making this very bold take. There's not going to be a single legendary Pokemon in this game. Now, maybe not one, like, no, like, box art legendaries is what I meant. Because in the trailer, the first one at least at the time we're recording this, there was no legendaries shown in this. And my guess is that the box art will be the two new regional Pikachus that we got in the trailer. And I'm afraid that's going to be what the case is.
Okay, just to play it safe, I will assume there's going to be the box art legendaries, and these box art legendaries, they're just elemental beings. For winds, Pokemon Wind, it's just gonna be some fucking tornado elemental thingy, and for Pokemon Waves, it's a tsunami elemental thingy, or a whirlpool. One's a typhoon, the other's a whirlpool.
Honestly, I also listed off some random like Pokemon names like Hurricane and Tsunamatar. If those are going to be the names of the legendaries, I'll probably lose my shit. All right. Next up, let's go with the teams, since we had a bit fun with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with a smart answer. He came up with a dumbass answer.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this because after Team Yell, anything is possible at this point. So I am playing the smart route, where I'm saying that it's going to be one team, and the team's going to be Team Shock. Because electric types are, of course, super effective against water and flying, and that's basically like the theme of this game anyway. So what the actual story plot will be, I don't think we really went down that route just yet, because anything is possible. Mm-hmm. So... but I think the team will be like something electric related, because we already had Team Plasma, so this time will actually be like electric themed. But this guy's answer, on the other hand.
All right. So, well, first of all, I assumed there's going to be two teams similar to Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. There's Team Skull, which was just a group of hooligans, and then Team Aether, which was some evil research team. And I guess you can kind of say it's the same thing with Sword and Shield. But I only have one team name, that being Team Dust. And Mateo brought this up. One of the Team Dust grunts is going to say, "You're going to eat my dust." That's what the grunts are going to say.
And the worst part about it is that mine is super effective. His can't do shit.
I know.
All right, next up, like you said, there's going to be one starter. At least one starter is going to be bipedal. And I'm going to throw another big one. There's going to be no gyms similar to Gen 7, but except it's going to be something related to the trials, but also probably will be in the theme of the gyms in this one. That's going to be my prediction in this one.
Okay, so for my prediction, I'm going to say, like, you can still earn, like, gym badges, but the battles are not, like, gym battles. They're, like, the Island Kahunas from Sun and Moon. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
So they're not in, like, buildings. They're in, like, ceremonies or something similar to Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm. Again? Or is it your turn?
I mean, honestly, like, I'm just going with your order. But,
okay.
But I guess I'll go. The rival of the story.
Okay.
So I went with the route with, it's going to be similar to Hop from Sword and Shield, where he's just overly optimistic, doesn't matter what it is. You know, a meteor could hit the Earth, and he's still going to be happy. That's gonna be my prediction of the rival.
There's so many routes they can take with the rival. It could be the asshole, the shy guy, or like the enthusiastic as fuck character. So
Mhm.
if I were to place my guess as to, or just like the cool friend, like
Yeah.
it was in Gen 9.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna predict that the rival. Okay, you know what? You know what I think they're gonna do? They're gonna do all of those, and they're gonna do like multiple rivals, and they're all gonna fall into those categories.
I just thought about freaking Gen 6 for a second. The moment you brought that up, how there's like 5 rivals or some shit.
I'd say 2 or 3 rivals. That's it.
Mhm.
One is gonna be the asshole. One's gonna be the shy guy, and the other one's gonna be like the cool, fun type character. So there you go. That's my guess.
All right.
Alrighty. Regional birds. Surprise, surprise. My guess is that it's gonna be a water flying type.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to do the section where like we talk about like the main like game stuff, and then we'll talk about the individual Pokemon.
Okay, you know what?
themselves.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, let's do
So
that.
let's see. We did the rivals, we did the enemy teams, box art. Okay, the gameplay gimmick. Okay, that's important ones because Gen 6 had Mega Evolutions, Gen 7 had the Z moves, Gen 8 had Dynamax, Gen 9 had crystal form thingies. I don't know.
So, and this one,
This one, it's. I mean, after freaking Dynamaxing and the crystal form thingies, anything's possible. For this one, I'm gonna say it's like a spiritual like being behind the Pokemon that like assist them in battle. Maybe it's like based on their types, or if it's like Mega Evolutions, only certain Pokemon gets to have it. Basically a persona from Persona, or a stand from JoJo, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it, really.
it's gonna be like, yo, check out this brand new mechanic. Your Pokemon can turn into a much like grander version of itself. Isn't that just Mega Evolutions? No, it's something completely different. I'm not gonna make any predictions on that because I literally cannot think of anything for whatever the hell that could be.
All right.
So we're still keeping on the route of mechanical stuff, right?
Yeah, like the main game stuff, and then we'll talk about the individual Pokemon.
Okay. So in that case, then okay.
And there's only 3 things that I could really talk about here.
Okay, well, if we're gonna go with that, I'm putting my prediction down at least for like other stuff in terms of gameplay. I'm just gonna assume that just like Gen 7, in my opinion, the game is gonna be stupidly boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's just there's also that, but also just stupidly easy. Because over time, the Pokemon games have been getting like way too easy. I talked about it briefly about Sword and Shield, but that game holds your hand way too much throughout the entire story. And I beat the champion without even trying.
Well, I'm gonna say it's boring from the standpoint of because it's open world, you're gonna be like not only lost, you're not only gonna be like struggling to figure out where you need to go to places, and on top of that, because it's open world and that it's basically saying go ahead and do whatever the hell you want. I'm assuming that it's just gonna be like boring as like why would I do this when I can just when I can just go back to a original Pokemon game and just go through a routes just to figure out where I need to go next.
Mhm.
It at least tells you where you need to go. With the open world, it's just going to be stupidly boring. And also, the Elite Four and the Champion are also going to be stupidly easy. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm going to stand with that.
That was another thing I put on here. I feel the champion battle, it's like the most anticlimactic battle,
When it's supposed to be the most the moment of the game where it's like, all right, test your might, because what the fuck was the last gen where the ace was the champion and the ace were the most why is that Pokemon of all things?
I don't know. Alright, well there's one more thing too, like the game itself when you're playing it, that being the story. I mean, there's really not much to go from there because the story could be anything. But I'm gonna assume the story's gonna lead to like a drought or something, considering it's winds and waves.
Even though we technically already got that with fucking Omega, Ruby, Pokemon Ruby with fucking Groudon. Imagine they just honestly, I'm gonna throw this then as like a joke prediction. It's just gonna be Lugia and Kyogre as the fucking box art Pokemon. Like a different variation of it. Like nothing original. It's just gonna be like the same same legendaries, except just taken from different games, and it's just gonna be like a different variation of it.
Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. The game will have DLC.
Oh yeah, like that's not even a question.
Yep.
What the DLC will be, I have no idea, but it's just probably just gonna be more expansion to the story that just adds nothing to it. More legendaries, and then just Pokemon that no one will give a shit about. So
Yep. You get a free legendary at your hands. Which I think that's just a problem with like ongoing Pokemon games. You just get legendaries for free these days. And mythicals.
yeah, literally in the last game, like the legendary literally is everything. Like fly, surf, everything. Like it literally is just like your ride.
Right. Like you just get a legendary handed to you, bro. Yeah, that's not a problem with this game. That's just a problem with like the pre-existing games. But now we can talk about the individual Pokemon themselves.
Actually one more thing. The dive and fly mechanic. So I think they tease the fact that you're able to go underwater and catch Pokemon, which looks cool. And I think what they're also gonna do is like when you use fly, you're able to catch Pokemon in the air, or like maybe at least above the clouds.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, sorry. Hold on, let me make sure I have anything else. Oh yeah, and there. I mean, I just threw this in there, but I feel like they could actually make this just like Legends Arceus. There's gonna be a boss fight in the game somehow.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like some type of boss fight in there, and then let me just see. One rival, blah 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 blah. Okay, I think that's all the mechanical stuff.
All right, now we can talk about the individual Pokemon themselves, even though we briefly talked about the starters and legendaries, but now this is just something else.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, the regional bird will just be a flying water type because, you know, I believe Pokemon is still at the verge and still on the ongoing train that they are completely running out of ideas.
Uh-huh. I said it was going to be an electric flying. I know that was the last one, but I don't care. Okay, if they did like, what's it, 3 firefighting types in a row, then, you know, that's fine.
I think that there's going to be some more regional variants to this island specifically.
Yeah.
I just don't know what, because there again, it literally could be for any Pokemon, but I think that there will be, you know, some more regional variants in this one. Yeah. So then.
Okay. The rodent Pokemon for this region, I'm gonna say it's a possum. I don't even know if there's any possum Pokemon existing now, but if there is, I don't care. If there isn't, then that's gonna be my prediction for the rodent Pokemon.
All right.
There's the bug Pokemon, the regional bug.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's a pre-existing. I'm gonna say a grasshopper.
Oh crap! I forgot a couple more. Okay. For more mechanical stuff, I know this is all over the place, guys, but just, you know, so it will probably be the game itself. I also put down that at least one of the bosses, so the gyms, the Elite Four, or the champion, will have one Pokemon, and it could be a new Pokemon, that is mad annoying to deal with. Think of like Mars's Perugly or Whitney's was it Whitney's?
Yeah.
Whitney's Miltank. And then also no voice acting, because, you know, Pokemon just wants to keep the least important things.
Yeah, I gotta love how the spin-off games have voice acting, but not the main games.
I know, right? And I also think that to keep it safe, there's not going to be a new type. So sorry, people that are advocating for the sound type to become a reality.
Yep.
All right, now we can stay back.
The regional bug.
Yep.
I just said a grasshopper.
For the pseudo legendary, I'm putting my prediction down that it won't be a dragon type this time, because we've had dragon types as pseudo legendaries for like the longest time, and I think I want to see a brand new pseudo legendaries like Metagross that's not a dragon type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a pseudo legendary, I mean, I didn't say what specific Pokemon, but yeah, I went with that. It's not gonna be a dragon. Yeah, not gonna be a dragon type, so I'm gonna assume it's gonna be a dark and ghost type. Yeah, let's go with that. Fossil Pokemon, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I went with a Komodo dragon. I know, you know, Komodo dragons exist in our world, but I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go with that for the fossil Pokemon.
That could also be a contender for the pseudo legendary.
Yeah, that too. Then there's the baby Pokemon as well as a random Pokemon, a pre-existing Pokemon that needs an evolution. For baby Pokemon, I went with Skarmory because
It needs it.
it's just its own thing. No evolution, no pre-evolution, nothing. So I just went with that for a baby Pokemon. And as for Pokemon that needs an evolution, I would say Druddigon.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, because that thing looks like a middle evolution. Give it a pre-evolution as well.
Yeah.
It looks like a middle evolution Pokemon.
Yeah, because Druddigon, I mean, it's a fine Pokemon by itself, but like it needs something else to it.
Yeah. This one, it will be brought up in the joke section, but the random object Pokemon, this is going to be my genuine prediction. There's going to be a Pokemon based off of a drum. I know we had there was
drumming Pokemon.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just the drum itself. Yeah.
It's going to be a drum kit Pokemon.
Yeah. For the mythical Pokemon, I said it was gonna be based off of the Krasu, as in the folklore character with the floating head lady. If not, that's gonna be a huge missed opportunity considering this is, Thailand or something. And, just Southeast Asia as a whole. So if they don't include that, that's a humongous missed opportunity right there for a mythical Pokemon.
After how many times they've done Asia in Pokemon games. I mean, I get they're from Asia, so I mean, of course, the leniency is gonna lean towards using Asia. But like, when the fuck are we gonna get the Italy generation?
Yeah.
Fucking. I was so underwhelmed by the fact that Overwatch finally released an Italian character, and then now everyone hates her because of what she did to Doomfist.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, if the graphics for this one are going to be a lot better, then that does give me hope for maybe Gen 11. But I don't know.
For the Pikachu clone, I don't care what it is, it's going to be just as unpopular as the last one because all the Pikachu clones were unpopular except Mimikyu, which isn't even an electric type.
I have a joke one for that coming up soon.
Yeah. As for the legendary trio, I don't know. I just gave up, so I just said it's going to be a group of snakes. One's going to be like a freaking water snake, the other's going to be a wind snake, and the other's going to be a
Ouroboros.
Yeah, and a Rubberus.
That actually could be a big part of it. Now that I think about it. I don't think there is an Ouroboros type Pokemon.
No. And then I just have a bunch of miscellaneous Pokemon predictions, so just random things I looked around the world, being like, I feel that's going to become a Pokemon. Starting with a platypus, because there still has not been a platypus Pokemon to this day. And, I think now's the time to get on a platypus Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Others would be a moss Pokemon. I don't know if there's a moss Pokemon already, but I'm just going to say moss. Another one would be a sea anemone. I think there was a Mega Evolution. I forgot whom.
Not a Mega Evolution, but it was the evolution after it was in Gen 9. I think Quillfish or whatever the fuck it's pronounced got
the pufferfish.
Yeah, that one, and it Quiver. I think it turned in like Quiverfish or whatever the fuck it's pronounced, but it basically it turns into a sea anemone.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna go with that sea anemone Pokemon. Then I'm gonna say a truffle Pokemon, not the chocolate, a mushroom, obviously. A cuttlefish Pokemon, why not? And a sea lion Pokemon, just because sea lions have been popping up on my For You page.
Basically, what we're saying is that there's still going to be a whole bunch of unoriginal type Pokemon everywhere in this region.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how much new Pokemon is going to be in this one, then that's also something to talk about. But I think that, honestly, this could be, just like Gen 6, probably the smallest Gen Dex.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put that as another prediction. It's going to be the smallest Gen Dex that we've got.
Yeah.
Even though it's Gen 10. And I think after that, I think we're pretty much Okay, and before we get to the joke ones, let me put in one more. This game's gonna get popular for like 2 weeks and then die off because of crap reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna put that down right now.
The moment you said that, it just hit me being like, hey, quick question. Did Pokemon ZA come out?
Yeah, with the DLC already. Wait, like,
Yeah. And what happened to it now?
no one wants to talk about it. Because the graphics were shit, and only like a few of the legendary Pokemon, not legendary, the Mega Evolutions were cool. All the rest of them were garbage. You want to talk about Starmie?
Yeah.
And still we have no Mega Crocodile. I'm still mad about that. And no Mega Flygon.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I don't
No,
remember.
no make Flygon.
All right. And now to end off the podcast, since we're basically almost at that point, we threw in a whole bunch of joke predictions. Because like I said, even though these are meant to be jokes, it's still funny if these end up becoming a reality. So he already mentioned it earlier, but I legitimately, like, not legitimately, but it would be so stupidly funny if they make Pombon another firefighting type.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the way that it looks, it could very well be that way. So all of these are completely random, by the way. So if you're going to be questioning why the fuck are these, like, what the heck are these predictions? Remember, they're jokes. They're all random as shit. So we have Team Up and Down and Team Krasu. And here are a couple of the random object Pokemon that we came up just as shits and giggles. One of them is going to be a 2x4. So just a plank of wood. A bonfire, which I actually could see being an actual Pokemon. A wallet. A shoe. Not even 2 pairs, just a shoe. A lamp, not a possessed one, like an actual, just like regular lamp.
The Pixar lamp.
A lantern or whatever the hell. And a go-kart. I just realized actually, fuck. There actually is technically a go-kart car Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was like in Gen 9 where it was like one of the teams like it was like a platform that was also a Pokemon.
Oh.
Back to the Pikachu clone idea. I'm predicting that the Pikachu clone is going to be a fish. An eel of some kind or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
You know what? If this actually happens, this is gonna cause outrage. Some of the new Pokemon are actually gonna be ripped off of Palworld. Because the leaks pretty much showed that, oh yeah, it's basically like, because this whole thing was leaked a while ago before it was even announced. And basically they said that it's gonna be, the leaks itself said, oh, it's gonna be very similar to what Palworld is gonna be like. So if they have Pokemon that are literally like almost identical to some of them from Palworld, then Palworld, it's your time to shine and sue, and then you're gonna get your money's worth. Next up, there's actually gonna be a wind Pokemon and a wave Pokemon. It's literally a wave and wind. And I also threw in there's gonna be a vapor Pokemon. A good in-between. There's your legendaries, folks. There's gonna be a caviar Pokemon. And this one's gonna be amazing. So with every great plot, you also have to have a moment of the film that the stakes are very high. And what do we choose? The laser beam in the sky, because every great story ever since the first Avengers movie had that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Pokemon that will lead to a controversy. I don't know what controversy it would lead to, but something involving the game or a Pokemon will start a controversy online.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a Bobcat Pokemon. So the cat, regional cat, except this one is literally in the name, Bob. So it's just basically a Pokemon with floaties. And to top it all off, and I'm going to have him explain it, there's going to be a human Pokemon. If you're just as confused, let him explain.
Okay, so like many great ideas I have, this one came to me in a dream. Basically, I had a dream that the Skull Merchant from Dead by Daylight was a Pokemon. And not just any Pokemon, a mythical Pokemon. So my prediction here was that there's gonna be this subplot where there's gonna be a human that's been in the wild for so many years it doesn't even recognize that it's a human anymore, so it identifies as a Pokemon.
And at the very end of the subplot, you get to catch the Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end of the subplot. You catch the Pokemon, it's in your Pokédex, and then you're in free roam.
Honestly, that you know what, that actually might be the one that might start controversy. That's
A human becoming a Pokemon. Anyways, you catch this Pokemon, you see
I think you might understand why.
Anyways, you catch this Pokemon, you read the Pokédex entry or whatever, and then you're in free roam. No NPCs talk to you, or like the characters within this subplot, they don't talk to you. You just go to the Pokemon Center and continue your main story.
Honestly, that might be their way of like making the game longer, is adding so many subplots to the point where, of course, there's a bajillion ways to predict this, folks, but these are just our legitimate but also not legitimate predictions for this. But the overall prediction that we're gonna sit here and say that we don't have high hopes for the game, and we're thinking that the game is just going to be boring and just another Pokemon game.
Yep.
Just overall, it's just going to be another Pokemon game. And will we ever get it? Probably not.
Yeah.
And because the only Pokemon game I would actually consider getting is if they actually go back and actually do a Gen 5 remake, but not a remake, Pokemon Black and White 3. That's what I'd actually be willing to try out. Because it's not a remake, it's a new game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phoenix, for not for not barking in the middle of it and then barking afterwards. But honestly, I think that's the end of the podcast for today. Keep in mind, guys, this is coming from people that love Pokemon, but recently we've just lost a lot of hope from it.
Yeah. Flashback back to like podcast episode number 4 or something, where I was talking about, Pokemon Z. I have really high hopes for it because it's going to be in Gen 6, and that's the one that introduced Mega Evolutions, and look where it's at now.
Yep. But yep, that's going to wrap it up for the activity. And on that note, we will be back once we have an idea of what we're going to do for next time. All right, y'all, and that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the podcast. And on a side note, I'll see if I can actually turn this into an actual video. Like, not just a podcast, but like maybe turn it into like a short form video or something. But on that note, Ruben, what is it going to be for the future of the podcasts?
Okay, so, honestly, it's up in the air what the next podcast could be. If it's me and Mateo, as usual, we've been thinking about doing reviews either of like albums, movies, maybe video games, I don't know. And if it's the whole group again, I mentioned it here and there, we'll do the Fox Marvel movies, as well as the Sony movies. Now, it's a little bit muddy of what the Fox movies means. Like at first you might just think like the X-Men movies and the Fantastic Four movies, but we just checked earlier, I guess there's also the Ghost Rider movies, which is a part of Sony. Blade, I don't know. And the old Hulk movie, like the 2003 one or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will do that. I'm just not sure how the structure is going to go. I'm not sure if it's just going to be just Fox or we're also going to include Sony in the same podcast. So I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out from there. But again, most of these podcast episodes nowadays are just like, we'll figure it out from here because, it dates back to when we used to, tease the next episode for our skits back in the day where we're like, oh yeah, we'll tease it for the next episode. But now it's just like, yeah, it's whatever the hell.
It can be anything.
But on that note, I'm Mateo.
I'm Ruben.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. And for today's podcast, we are going to be talking about, fuck.